Lately, I've been playing around with this pattern that gives agents better context. Now, the setup's pretty simple. I have a company brain in box. Then on top of that, I have a small Claude skill that helps Claude figure out exactly where to look inside it. I'm calling the skill Knowledge Router, but the funny thing is, the skill doesn't contain much knowledge. It mostly knows how to start in the right place, read the map, route the request to the right files. So basically, instead of stuffing a bunch of product docs, security answers, and maybe go-to-market messaging into the skill, all that stuff lives in box, but the team can actually maintain it. Let's check it out. Here's the company brain in box. It's a fictional company called Northstar, and I've got the brain organized into a few domains. So you have company context, product knowledge, customer knowledge, go-to-market, support, trust and governance, brain and voice, examples, templates, and applets. Now, I want to emphasize this folder right over here, start here. And it's basically where the map lives. So you have the company brain map, a routing guide, source priority rules, owners and review cadence, and also formatting rules for outputs. So when Claude comes in, it doesn't just wander around the whole folder and hope for the best. It starts right here, it reads the map, it also follows a routing logic that lives in box. And that gives me a nice separation. This skill stays small, the brain can keep changing, and the docs can stay in the same place team already works. All right, now in Claude, we have the knowledge router skill enabled, and I'm also going to give it a pretty normal work request. We'll paste in this prompt. I'm preparing for a customer call tomorrow with the VP of Customer Success, who wants to understand our AI agent product. They care about improving team productivity, but they're worried about permissions and data security. I only have 20 minutes to prep. What should I read first? Before we check out the results, I want to emphasize something. We didn't ask it to search these folders. We didn't tell it exactly which docs to read. All we really did was describe our situation. Claude routes the request through the company brain and comes back with a short reading path. It picks up that this touches customer knowledge, product, go-to-market, and trust. Then it gives us a prioritized list with a quick reason for each file. So we have a start here section. And on top of that, we have additional resources. And of course, I can always click directly into the box file from the response. Now we'll follow up. The first step was finding the right context. And now we want Claude to turn that into something we can actually use. We'll paste in this follow-up prompt. So we'll say, use the sources you recommended and create a short customer call brief for me. Save it as a markdown file with this file name. And at the top of the brief, include the source file you used with box links. All right, in a response, Claude read from the recommended sources, drafted the prep brief, and also saved it back into box under outputs/drafts. Just emphasize, this document was generated by an agent. So it may be useful, maybe it's even very good, but it hasn't been reviewed yet. Let's check it out. Back in box, we have the new file. This brief has the source files listed at the top with links back to box. And it also includes notes with context, talk tracks, questions, and many more. At this point, the team can review this, edit it, move it forward, or use it as context for the next thing. And next up, let's actually take a look at the skill itself that powered all this. Here's the skill itself. Now, we're not going to walk through every single line, but I want to point out a few key pieces that makes this whole thing actually work. Right here with the ID, this is really the only hard-coded location in the skill, and it's just our root box folder. It gives Claude a stable place to start, but also doesn't bake in the whole company brain. So basically, the skill knows exactly where the front door is, and the rest of the map still lives in box. Next is probably the most important part. Claude doesn't just search the whole folder and hope it finds something good. It begins right here in the Start Here folder, and it's going to read the routing files and use them to decide where to go. This means that all routing logic is actually editable by the team in box. So for example, if we add a new source area, update ownership, or maybe even change which docs should be trusted first, we just update the markdown in Box. We don't actually have to rebuild the skill every single time. Further down, this is what lets the skill handle fuzzy prompts. Recall that in the demo, I didn't say something like, go read product, go to market, customer knowledge, and trust. All I really said was, I have a customer call, they care about productivity, and they're worried about permissions and data security. Right down here, the skill classifies that as cross-functional, then routes across the right parts of the brain. It's a pretty small thing, but it also makes the interaction feel way more natural. Next, in terms of what to return, this rule actually came from some testing that we did. Now, the first version actually worked, but it also gave me a big list of docs. That's technically correct, but it didn't feel great for a real prep workflow. So we added this: prefer small primary set, and if there are more docs, group them. That's why the response felt like a useful reading path rather than a dump of search results. And last thing I want to point out are a few guardrails. This skill's pretty explicit. Don't answer from memory. Don't assume the folder structure is still the same. Don't invent owners. And also don't recommend files unless they actually exist. The takeaway here is that this model can still be flexible, but the workflow keeps pulling it back to the same shared source of truth. In short, this skill is really just a lightweight control layer. It knows where to start, how to classify the request, how to return useful links, and it also knows where generated outputs should actually live. Again, the actual knowledge, the map, the ownership, the review status, the source files, all that stuff stays in Box. So in short, a small skill gives Claude the workflow, and Box gives it the shared context, the files, permissions, versions, and a place to put new work. And that's why I really like this pattern, especially as a developer. You don't need a huge custom app to make the agent more useful with team knowledge. You can just start with a folder structure, a few markdown routing files, a skill, and a Box connection. Then, at that point, the agent knows where to start, how to link back to the source, and when it creates something new, that work lands back in the company brain. If you want to build this yourself, check out the free Box developer account. I'm Andrew. See you next time.